Well, come on in, ladies. Come on in to the kitchen. Have a seat at the table because your feelings matter too. And today is Fulfillment Friday. This is a session for all my ladies who are feeling lost in life. Come on in, have a seat. So today we're going to talk about how to realign with your purpose. For all these my ladies who may be feeling lost in life, I'm Veronica Rosa, your emotional wellness and life coach. And this is Cooking with Purpose to fill your body and feed your soul, sister. Come on in, come on in. So tonight's topic is very, very important to every woman who has ever felt and looked around and thought, how did I end up here? Who am I? If you're feeling lost, disconnected, or like life doesn't match your dreams, this is your reminder that it's not too late to realign yourself with your purpose. There's a lot of people right now who are losing their jobs, who are sick on this revolving door of pharmaceutical medications that's not making them any better, feeling frustrated, and then you may question yourself and say, who am I? What am I? Where do I want to go? And to be honest, life gets loud. We pour into everybody else. We wear 1,000 hats to keep it together. We chase the checklist like the habit tracker. Uh, but in the process, we forget about ourselves. And you might not realize it. You might be feeling lost and not even know it, but there may be some anxiety, depression. That's all your soul's calling out to say, listen, there's something wrong with me. But you're not, you may, you might not be feeling lost, not because you're doing something wrong, although you feel like there's something wrong, but because you're living by default, not by design. You haven't had a clear vision and said, okay, this is my vision and that's what I'm going for. You're just probably just taking things in as they go. Hey, you want to go to the grocery store? Okay, yeah. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. Oh, checking up the check marks based on holidays and weekends and just reacting instead of acting towards your goals. And purpose doesn't get lost. It's always buried in within you, under the fear, under survival mode, under the opinions of others, and it's still there. Your soul is still remembers, it still comes up in forms of anxiety, depression, boredom. And so it's time for you to get quiet. Time for you to align yourself. You can't realign if you never pause to ask yourself what's going on. And so it is very hard to get quiet when you have distractions. You have your husband, you got the kids, you got the dogs, you got to go to work, you gotta do your everyday mundane tasks. I know it gets hard. And sometimes when we fall into uh these situation scenarios where we've been taking things away from us, when you lose a job, you lose someone that you loved either by separation, divorce, death, or just have that lost sense of self. It could be hard to get quiet, but you can never realign yourself if you never pause and ask yourself, what's really going on? To turn down the noise, to unplug, to create a sacred moment, to hear what your soul is whispering. Ask yourself, what feels heavy right now? What feels life giving? What is draining you? Let's reconnect you with who you were before the world told you who to be, because it's all buried in down. Your purpose lives in your patterns. Oh, I wish I should have got for next time. I'm gonna bring my baby pictures. Not even not baby picture, but my there's look back what lit you up as a child. There's my mother just gave me a stack of my baby pictures. I'm not baby, but of my childhood pictures. And there's one um picture, I'm in the back of her car and I have the typewriter. It's a big old bulky typewriter, and I'm in the back seat and I'm right there plugging away. And it made me laugh so much because I'm like, here I am still with my computer, always on my computer in the car. And so also I always had like the printer. It was a toy printer, and it wasn't that even a printer. It was like that pink uh clear, translucent. I don't know how to explain it. You know that fake printer, and then you would write on it. It was like actually carbon copy paper. You'd put the carbon copy. It had the pink, little sticky writing thing. You'd write on it, and it would carbon print, and then you would have a copy. And so I've always liked like the office, the computer, the printing, and that's all like what I use now and who I am now. And so I want you to think about too, when you were a child, what lit you up as a child? Like what was your thing? Mine was like pots and pans and cooking. My sister was the Barbies and fashion and all that. And I'm like, and I was a teacher. I was always a teacher, and we would play, let's play house or let's play teacher. And I'd have my little printer and my little typewriter, or I'd get Oreos and take off all the white stuff and put them in a little pot and play house. So that has a big connection in your subconscious as to who who are you really meant to be in this lifetime? Besides a mother, besides a sister, besides a girlfriend or a wife, or who are you? If you were stripped away from your material goods, from your car, from your Louis Vuitton, from your job, if they were to strip all of that away, who are you? Let's find your purpose. So we go back to find your purpose in life in the patterns, in your childhood patterns. Like, what did you do for fun as a child? What do you like doing now or as a teenager before somebody told you, oh, you can't do that? That's not practical. That doesn't make any money. You need to go into this occupation. Your mother and your grandma or your grandfather, they've done this for years. And so what did you like to do as a child? What was your wish? What was your dream? What have I always been drawn to, even when nobody's watching? I didn't find my purpose until recently. I'm 42, and less than 10 years, I'd say like really, really strongly, the last 6 years, that's when I really hunkered down into my purpose. But about 10 years ago, or no, 15 years ago, things that I would do and hiding or on my weekends or when nobody was watching, I was studying astrology, studying the sun, the moon, the stars, life, religion, language. And that's what I was drawn to, crystals. And at the moment, I didn't have anything to do. I didn't think I had anything to do with who I became now as a woman. But now I finally have found my purpose. It all adds up. So just think about those three questions. Look back to your childhood. What did you like to do as a child? What did you like to do as a teenager or a young adult when before somebody said that's not practical, you can't make money? And then what do you still like to do now that maybe you do it in hiding? Maybe you do it in secret. Maybe it's a side hobby. What's that side hustle that you got? So take a moment to get an alignment one step at a time. Purpose isn't a giant leap, like all of a sudden you, ta-da, I'm here. No, it's a series of small, little, tiny steps and a small, little, tiny daily tasks that all of a sudden the accumulation of that becomes something bigger. The last couple years, I've been on YouTube learning how to edit, how to start a business, how to uh, QuickBooks, how to uh, be a public speaker. And so all those small little daily tasks has accumulated to this. Veronica Rosa, emotional wellness and life coach. Ooh, that's big. It's a big purpose, right? And so start small, write a blog, take a class, speak your truth, cook a meal. I'll tell you this these classes that I'm now doing finally, I had the courage this month to do live free 90-day coaching. But the vision came like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when all of a sudden the download came down because I moved to Florida. I lost my job. I sold my car. I didn't lose my job. I gave it away to move to Florida to be with my husband because my purpose was being a wife now. And I was depressed, sad in the home. And so I had to begin to rediscover who am I? What's my purpose? I could have went and I did end up doing nails in Florida, but that still wasn't my purpose. I felt it in my soul. I started doing small little baby steps. I didn't have to quit the nails. I time scheduled my day where I would do tarot readings in the morning as my silent side hustle that nobody knew. And in the evening, I'd do nails. And so those small little baby steps, they got me closer. But definitely the change really, really, truly made a shift is when I started journaling. And I have my journals from about 6 years ago, and I was just journaling, taking a moment to write things down, creating a vision for it. Even though I didn't think that could really truly happen, I thought so many things would have to take place in order for that life to really come alive. But I still wrote it down and I said, okay, well, reverse engineer. If I want to be that, what do I got to do to get there? Oh, well, I still need to learn how to speak. I got to learn this part. I don't feel confident. I still want to go to integrative nutritional health to get a certificate. I still needed to validate myself. I still had to clear my emotional energy centers, my fears, my doubts, my worries, my stress, say it out loud and see how people's reactions and then fight people because I wasn't in alignment doing what they thought that I should be doing as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter. And so take a moment this weekend to write these 3 questions down. Where in my life am I going through the motions instead of living with meaning? What part of me have I silenced to fit in or to feel safe? And number 3, what is one small step I can take this week that feels like home to my soul? And so it's going to require for you to set boundaries. That was a huge lesson that I had to learn. And always as we're growing, you take 2 steps forward or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But don't let that discourage you. Keep on going. And remember that clarity comes through action, not overthinking. Manifesting is not just thinking and praying and wishing. No, it's actually putting action. The daily task, putting action will create your manifestation. You don't need to have it all figured out, or maybe you do think that you have it all figured out. Because for me, I thought, oh, download, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a millionaire. 6 years later, still, oh, I still need to learn this. I got to learn how to edit. I got to learn, still learning. The point is that you sit down, get quiet, and you start journaling, and you come up with an action plan, and you start making those small little daily baby steps. Start saying yes to yourself. So drop a purple heart in the comments if you are ready to grow into your next level. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need your intuition, your courage, and your faith. And I'll tell you that by doing this 90-day detox challenge, it's going to remove the toxins that's building up in our bodies, that's making us foggy, tired, depressed. It's going to add to the low vibrations of doubt. And so by eliminating, doing a detox, all of a sudden you're going to think more clear. And all of a sudden your intuition gets stronger because you set boundaries with food. Your courage gets stronger with other stuff. Your faith begins to build. God doesn't give us dreams that we're not meant to grow into. And you got to believe that. You are not behind. You are becoming. It doesn't matter what age you are. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. We're all on different paths, and there's one big picture, and we're just one little piece of that bigger puzzle. So as we step into the kitchen tonight, let's remember that purpose doesn't start with a big career move. Sometimes it starts with just as simple, sacred as nourishing your body. And that's how it happened for me. Trust me. So tonight's meal is more than just dinner. It's a declaration that you are coming back to yourself and that you deserve more. Thank you for joining me and welcome. Welcome to Cooking with Purpose. Fill your body and feed your soul. Let's get cooking with purpose to lower A1C, shed unwanted weight, maximize mental sharpness and clarity, boost self-expression, boost immune system, build confidence, maintain emotional balance, relieve pain, relieve headaches, cleanse your digestion, and much more. Welcome to Cooking with Purpose, where we fill our bodies and feed our souls. If you are feeling tired, overwhelmed, stressed, or struggling with weight loss, anxiety, or energy crashes, it's time to take back control, starting in the kitchen. Today, we are cooking an easy and delicious, nutrient-packed dinner to help boost your metabolism, balance hormones, and fuel your body for success. Whether you are a busy mom, battling cravings, or just looking to feel amazing again, this is for you. Drop a firebomb in the comments if you are ready to cook with me. Let's get cooking good looking. So what's for dinner? Let's get cooking good looking. So what's for dinner? It's Fulfillment Friday, and you already know we're cooking with purpose over here. But today, I'm not just serving dinner, I'm serving divine alignment. Because when you nourish your body, walk with your calling, and heal your work, baby, the money shows up too. Watch what happens when I open this pan. Abundance is being served hot, baby. Woo!
So this make this. So every time you do, it's like okay. So that's why I love this. I love it. I love tools. Don't forget it.
And you know, this
Make this. So I can do this.
so he could do this.
So she can have it. This.
So I can have this. So welcome, and that is a little snippet of what my morning was like this morning. I thought it would be cute. My husband is going to Puerto Rico again today, and so he didn't have work. So this morning I woke up early and I said, "What do you want for breakfast?" I was like 11. I'm like, "I don't want eggs. I just did a strong 3-day sugar detox." And he's like, let's go out for lunch, brunch. We ended up going to a really cute restaurant called Whiskey Kitchen, and it was so cool. We had a beer and we, laughed and we enjoyed our time with each other. We tried to go on a, a crime tour that wasn't available. Oh, and then we found the farmers market. I found bees at the farmers market. I got my crystal chakras. I made connections with other people that were there selling microgreens. So I made an appointment to come back to make a meal plan and come back and buy some microgreens. So the farmers market is where it's at, girlfriend. I got my crystals at the farmers market. And so what I'm trying to show in that video is there's a couple different things there. One, that's my husband of 8 years. We've been together 15 years. In our early days, we fell in love real quick, real fast, and then we went through this extremely toxic cycle. We triggered each other's feelings of abandonment, insecurities, um, all of the negative lower vibration we over and over and over and over we triggered each other to be able to break free from those old belief systems that were no longer serving us and be able to become break free for the to become the higher version of ourselves, and by doing that we became the better version of each other. It wasn't easy. It was really, really hard. And so I'm talking about extremely toxic drugs, alcohol, the language, the jealousy, the insecurities, destruction. It was bad year after year after year. But for some reason, in my relationship with my twin, the twin is going to do that. It's going to trigger you to become the better version of yourself. Because at first I was like pointing fingers, you, look at you. And when I stopped saying you, I started looking at myself and saying, why does that bother me? Why does it trigger me? What does it say about me? What does it say about my belief system? What is no longer true about that belief system? But who am I? What do I like? Apart from being, a woman in this community, a sister, a daughter, a mother, a wife, who is Veronica? And so a lot of times when you are being called to your purpose, you're going to hit rock bottom, hit rock bottom, hit rock bottom. And so this is your wake up call, girlfriend. Take some time and journal. Think back to who are you? What do you like? What do you don't like? Sometimes we think that, oh, I have to go to school to be a millionaire. I have to go to college to be a millionaire. I have to do this X, Y, and Z to be here. I have to be reincarnated in another lifetime in order for me to be in union with my husband. And I'm telling you, all of that shifted once I stopped self sabotaging. We've been married for it's coming up on 8 years now. He wanted to be the best version of a husband, but he had other influences like his mother, his sister that were like pulling, feeling entitled, which made him feel like he was being pulled. So then he said, F you, I'm going to the bar. And then we had started having problems. And he ended up losing his job. I lose my job. COVID comes. He gets into a real and so right before COVID hit though is when I stopped self sabotaging. I started saying, you know what? These actions, me going out to the bar with my girlfriend, getting all drunk and making him mad, it's only causing more friction and more pain. And even though he's going out to the bar, I'm not gonna do that because that's not in alignment with my purpose. So I stopped those habits and I got clear in my journal. What is it that you want? How do I get there? Well, I gotta learn this. Okay. Well, if I have to learn how to use a computer this weekend instead of going out with my girlfriends, no girl, I can't do that. I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna start learning. And just doing that can be very triggering. When people are used to you being out partying and everything, it's like, oh, now you think you're better, it'll trigger them. So this came in different layers, in different occasions throughout these years. But the shift didn't come, it didn't start this 90-day challenge. I created that 90-day challenge 6 years ago and I put myself on that challenge. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being a saint. No sugar, no alcohol, no fast food, no what is the other one? I can't remember them all right now, but um today we went out. It was 11:30. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. We had a drink. We enjoyed each other. Now we're living in alignment with purpose, with rhyme, with reason. It's not just oh, I'm not here all drunk or no. We had balance. We had a beer. We had lunch, a juicy burger. Went to the walked around to a farmer's market and everything. Now I'm back here. I'm back in alignment, doing what what brings me joy. And so the shift didn't start until I started holding myself accountable. And even though I had to go to therapy and counseling and do all these things, and to me, he was worse than me. I thought, whew, he's never gonna get on the bandwagon. I was sitting in one living room with all this toxic years of toxicity. And finally I said, no, I'm not going out. I'm gonna stay home. I'm going to learn. I'm gonna get on the computer, I'm gonna learn. And then he came home. Wow, what are you doing on your computer? Nope, I'm not letting the devil get to me. Nope, I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning. And before you know it, I'm setting up his business. He's now falling. He ended up getting in a car accident. Because of the car accident, he ends up learning. I heal him from the car accident through food, essential oils, and love, and separating ourselves from any toxic people. and he healed naturally. And from being in that horrible car accident out of states, and he had to put a rod in his leg because he fractured his femur. From there, they said, "Oh, you're going to take you like a year to walk. You're going to be bald in your head." Girl, his hair grew back within 2 weeks, and 3 months later, I don't even think it was 3 months. It might have been 1 month later. His cousin passed away, so we went to Puerto Rico, and so he's in his what do you call it, his crutches and everything. He decides we want to go zip lining, you know. But there he where we were zip lining. 3 months later, we got the contract for the elevator business. And from there, we were too busy living in alignment with our purpose, making money, having joy, that we forgot about. We didn't forget, we just didn't want to go to the bar and be all crazy. Like, he completely got clean. He's been clean. He didn't have to go uh through the same courses and teachings that I thought that he would have to go through in order to be where I'm at. I had to get clear and get straight within me, and everything else fell into. So sometimes it starts just with as simple as nourishing your body. That's where it started with me. Start watching what I eat. Started setting boundaries with him. I don't want that sugar, much less I don't want any of that other stuff. And that started building my self love, my self confidence. And at a time that I thought that he was leaving me and he was gonna, I was being abandoned, he's never coming back. He actually even went and got asked for a divorce, paid $2,000 for a divorce lawyer because he found out that I was doing tarot readings and thought that this was work of the devil. But he saw that I am of love, of light, and uplifting and breaking free from guilt, shame, fear, doubt, distrust. Even though he was the one that was over there doing stuff to make me to distrust him, I had to, if I wanted trust, I had to be trust. I had to start practicing forgiveness, practicing gratitude, practicing every time I had that thought, where is he? Who is he with? What is he gonna do? Rebuking that, but with something positive. Oh, he loves me and everything, and eating, nourishing my body, getting out, doing physical activity, working on myself, doing those small little daily habits. I didn't have to shift over to a whole different man to build the life that I wanted. I was able to create the life that I wanted with that same toxic man. And he's no longer toxic. He's healed, whole, beautiful, and in love. And I'm so very proud of him. And I'm so very proud of myself, of the life that we have created together, a life of abundance. When we nourish our body, heal our soul from the inside out, we create purpose in life. And the abundance comes in many forms, not just money. It comes in love, it comes in relationships, it comes in and other opportunities that's going to get you closer to your purpose, your purpose. Everybody has a different purpose. So tonight is more than just dinner. It's a declaration that you are coming back into yourself and that you deserve more. You deserve more. Join me on this 90-day detox challenge. Like I said, it's more than just shedding weight and holding yourself accountable. It's about building who you are, detoxing from all of the toxins, the physical toxins from the food, the physical toxins from our relationships, and the toxicity language, the energy, the vibe. And when you do that, you leave room for more, for nourishment, for growth, for healing. So join me on this 90-day challenge. Are you ready to take the first step to shedding weight, boosting your energy, and transforming your habits? It all starts here. Visit vitalityvalueswellness.com and look for the free habit tracker section. Enter your first name, your last name, along with your email address, and your tracker will be delivered straight to your inbox. You've got this. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Download now and let's start your journey today. vitalityvalueswellness.com. It's not too late to start, to join me. This 90-day challenge is not about sacrifices. What is about sacrifices for yourself, but it's not about not receiving enough. It's not about rejecting yourself. It's about building self-discipline. The self-discipline builds self-love. And when you do that, you begin to live a life with more purpose, with more pep in your step. And then you begin to shed and shine in ways that you never have before. Drop a purple heart in the comments if you feel lost, if you are ready to start moving in alignment again. And speaking of alignment, sometimes when we do something that's pure intention, like cooking with love or serving our family or walking in obedience, abundance will show up in unexpected places. So keep your vibes high, as this was my coming into my purpose. It was very, very hard. I was scared about what are people are gonna think, what is he gonna think, and it did. It came out to point times where we were talking about divorce and all that, but I had to stand my ground and stand firm, find my voice, set my boundaries. If I wasn't able to do all of that, or I wouldn't have been able to do all of that if I hadn't started with setting self boundaries through food. Once I started setting my self boundaries through food, I was able to start setting boundaries in other areas in my life. And before you know it, my life shifted for the better in ways that I truly, it was a wish, but I thought that was like a long shot. But I stuck to it every day, baby steps, making one little task that's gonna get me closer to my dream. And so today I opened up a pot filled a stack of money because when you show up with purpose, God shows out and it'll come. I know that a lot of times it is triggering. It could be very triggering. If that pot of money triggers you, I want you to ask yourself deep down inside, like, what is that trigger? Because you are worthy. You can create that. I didn't have to go to college. I didn't have to become a doctor. I didn't have to leave my man. I didn't have to move out of my house or be on the streets. I just had to hunker down, get quiet, get steady, get quiet, get focused, start journaling, create a vision board, and then say, okay, reverse engineer. What do I need to do to get there? What's one little task? If you could do 3 tasks a day, that's even better. 3 little tasks a day to get you closer to that. And hold yourself accountable. Again, this 90-day challenge is not about comparing yourself to other people. It's about, even being hard on yourself. I've been doing this for 6 years, and still today I was like, oh, I'm on this 90-day detox. But we will deviate from our our values if our needs are being met. My need to have a connection with my husband, especially now that he's working a lot, traveling a lot, that glass of beer or 2 glasses of beer put my life in abundant and in a yeah, put it in abundance, and it brought it into balance. And by bringing it into balance, it brought in abundance of love. We met people. I made new friends, and it's just giving, and it's just everlasting. So today's affirmation, I want you to repeat after me. Put your hand over your heart and just repeat. I realign by remembering who I am. I do not need a title to walk in purpose. My next step is coming. And with that, I'm sending you much love. Happy Fulfillment Friday. Your purpose is already inside you. You may be feeling some very uncomfortable, feeling lost sense of self. Who am I? Where am I? Where? First thing, stop eating the junk food. Start drinking water. Get rid of the soda. Get rid of the fruit juices. Get rid of the alcohol. I had to really strongly get rid of the alcohol for years before I was able to come back in balance, come back in alignment. Because if I just say, no, I have problems every time I drink alcohol and I don't have that emotional balance, and every time I drink alcohol, I'm a hot mess, then I'm broken. Then I went to the other end of I'm not drinking anything, I'm rigid and boring and stern and strict. That was also blocking me. So I slowly learned I had to completely quit the alcohol to balance my emotions, to realign myself with my purpose, with to overcome the feelings of rejection, abandonment, fear, doubt, jealousy, and be able to process that so that now when I do drink and if I do have those feelings, I just let it go and it passes through. It doesn't sabotage my desire for a union with my soulmate. It doesn't sabotage my desire to be a health coach. It doesn't sabotage me in other areas of my life anymore. And that's when you know you're completely healed. When you could come back and have that yin and yang, and you're no longer saying, oh, well, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do this. No, I can do this in moderation. It's about balance, not about being perfect and being a saint and being boring and doing all this, um, which there are some people who completely quit, and as long as that's in alignment with that purpose, kudos to you. But I know that with my personality and my husband's personality, we like to go out, we like to have fun, we like to have a beers, but there was a point that we didn't know how to do that without getting in trouble because we were too emotionally triggered by each other, and with the effects of alcohol, under the effects of alcohol. So I encourage you to get quiet, get your journal, and start writing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. Quit sugar, quit the junk food, drink water, and all of a sudden, instead of being in fight, flight, and freeze, you're just gonna slow you down, and then you turn into your creative hat on, your intuition. And even though it's like, don't say, oh, that's dumb or that's a stupid, write it down. Write it down. I wrote, I want a wellness center and the island, and I want to do and I created my seven different ways of receiving income, and I slowly started working towards that. And sometimes I think I want to go here, but my purpose is really over here. And as I'm working the steps and doing my daily tasks, if you keep being blocked, you will find out, well, maybe I should do it a little bit this way. And so, baby steps, one step at a time, but say yes to yourself. So since today we went out, uh, we had a big burger at lunch. He's gonna be going to Puerto Rico. I gotta go drop him off. I wasn't prepared to make dinner today. I wasn't expecting to make dinner. I have some chicken drums, but I don't even know how. I gotta look up a recipe to create to make the drums. So again, it's not about, being perfect and having that pep in the step and knowing everything. Sometimes we just do learn and grow as we go. So let's see if we can get a drumstick recipe. Olive oil, lemon, garlic, seasoning, paprika, sea salt. We're gonna put in the oven 400 degrees. And I already have the cauliflower mash and quinoa on the side, so I can quickly make that for him and for me too, right? But I'm saying so that before he leaves for his flight, he can have a nutrition packed yummy dinner. And I'm really excited for next week to make more connections with these wonderful people at the farmers market. So I got my chicken drumsticks. Let me put on the oven for 400 in a large bowl. Bake. Okay, so we got that bacon or the oven preheating. Where's my drumsticks? So just as I had to break free from old belief systems that were no longer serving me, so did he. He had to break free from old belief systems that weren't no longer serving him. And one of them for me was, having crystals, and now today he was helping me pick them out. And so these crystals can help you. So these crystals, I specifically chose these ones to align with the chakras, and your chakras connect with your endocrine system, your hormone system, your emotions. And so each crystal is a sector, an emotional energy sector in your body that represents a sector of emotions that may be blocking you from living your full potential. Let me know in the comments if you are familiar with your chakras. Ooh, look at this one. This one is rose quartz, perfect square. Ooh, transition. There's my crystals. This one's a perfect square. It's rose quartz. So today was fun. Him taking them out with me and making friends. It's a beautiful life, guys. And you don't have to switch up the toxic man that you are crazy in love with. You don't, you can make things work, but you have to stop pointing the fingers and say, what is it about me? There are my chicken drumsticks. We're going to switch it up today. I say a bowl, my drumsticks. I'm going to wash these off. This should be a quick meal. Bake for 35 to 40 minutes. Broil the last 30 to 5 minutes for extra crisp. So we are going to, let me take this out real quick. All right, we got the chicken. Do some olive oil, salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, paprika. So now, if I was really strictly trying to do this to lose weight, most definitely I would not be drinking alcohol because alcohol does not let you lose belly fat. So it's all what your purpose, your vision, on what it is that you want to accomplish. Cooking with purpose, we touch on all areas of life, money, love and relationships, spiritual purpose, um, business, which falls under money. So it's money. Oh, your self help, your physical health. So physically, if your physical health, if you're trying to lose weight, that's gonna get clear on what is it that you want to accomplish instead of following everybody else's and each fad diet and oh you should do this and you should do that. You got to get clear on what is it that you want. You want to lose weight, you want to lower your A1C, you want to lower your cholesterol, or is it your emotions? You want to get healthier emotionally so that you're no longer triggered, so you're no longer blocking yourself from living your truth. Italian seasoning, smoke refused salt and pepper. Okay. Italian seasoning, paprika. Just because you do have a candy or a beer, you don't, bring yourself back into. Don't say, "Oh, well, I already failed today. Might as well keep going." Realign yourself. Bring yourself back into alignment. I am loving those chicken oven baked chicken wings that I made the other day. Those were so good. I'm gonna get me a big old bag of chicken wings and drumlets, and that's what I'm making me this weekend because they were like so good. Like I'm still thinking about them. They were really, really good. And I put a secret sauce, a secret ingredient, which was cinnamon, just like a little dash. Oh man, it was super, super delicious. What do you think? We need more seasoning? Maybe a little bit more paprika and a more Italian seasoning. I just pulled out the whole rack because I don't have a baking sheet. And from my experience of making what was it, the wings, it all drizzled greases all over the oven. So I'm gonna grease the ends like that. I need another bigger one. Woo, perfect timing, ladies. Oven is ready. I really don't like touching chicken, but we gotta do what we gotta do, right? So this will be tonight's dinner. I am going to pop that in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. And then the last 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to broil it for an extra crisp. Keep this in the oven. So thank you for joining me today, Fulfillment Friday. The choice is yours. We all have a God-given purpose, but we also have free will to choose what it is that we want to do in life. And a lot of times we are taking things away. We will experience grief through separations, breakups, divorce, loss of a loved one, or just a lost sense of self. And I also went through many years in my 20s, in my mid 20s, of just I had a good job back then. Over 20 years ago, my son was 21. 20 years ago, I was working at Great Lakes Higher Education in Madison, Wisconsin on the phones, and I was making 21.50 an hour because I was on night staff or like the second shift. And I was making over $21 an hour back then. nowadays, if somebody has a job making $20 an hour, it's great. The problem is that the cost of goods have increased so much. McDonald's used to go to 99 value meal or 99-cent meal, and not only was it cheaper, it was more real food. It now it's 3 times more expensive, and they have remade it to look like food. They made it out of chemicals and stuff so it can last longer on the shelves and so you can get your brain buzzing like in cravings and wanting more. It's not the same. It's not the same. And so life is going to have a lot of ups and downs. You may be taking things will be taken away from you. My purpose of being emotional wellness and health coach, all those little troubles and trials and tribulations that I had to go through within the last 20 plus years has taught me skills, little skills, and little habit changes to help me become the better version of me so that then I can help uplift you. So I thank you for joining me. I'm not going to make you hold on to see this chicken for 35, 40, 45 minutes. So I'm going to sign off and you have a very prosperous weekend with much love and light. And let me know in the comments if you want to work one on one with me to really dive deep and figure out who you are, do some soul searching, do some self awareness, self soul searching, and help with creating that vision and put you into alignment with your small little daily tasks that you would have to take to get where you are meant to be. But it is free will. And when you are ready, the universe is ready to give you everything that you can dream, think, and wish for. So, with much love, have a good weekend. And I'm signing off. Sayonara. Bye.